well as you can, handling somebody like Kawhi Leonard. I think when Draymond's minutes were mirroring Kawhi, he likes that assignment. He wants to throw him down. But it was everybody else for the Clippers that helped beat the Warriors tonight. If you look at role players versus role players, well, the Clippers succeeded.
We're going to continue this conversation as we get to the crossover right now. We get out to Jenny, Natalie, and Cheryl to discuss this game a little bit more. And Cheryl, I always think a team needs to take away lessons from a loss like this, in which they led by 14 at the half. What's the lesson for the Warriors in the second half of this game?
The Warriors reminded me of someone who looks in the mirror and walks away and forgot what they look like. They forgot what they look like. That's exactly what happened. They were defensively, they got after it, like you guys said. They really flexed their muscle. They were swarming. In the second half, it's almost like they had dead legs, and forgot the game plan.
Agreed.
I've been learning from coach. I've been learning from coach. See, it rubs off. It rubs off.
No, I agreed. What I saw was, I saw that the LA Clippers weren't shooting the three ball very well in the first half, and what I noticed is they had 62 paint points compared to the Warriors 36, wow. And so I felt like T-Lue, found ways to generate more paint points than them. When it's not falling, I think they were finding the answers how to get that get to the rim.
That's why you're coach of the year.
That's
why you're coach of the year.
No, you saw it, and I went off of it.
Both of you are quick studies. Clearly, very much so. Quick studies. I just really want to ask Coach Nakase, in the moments where your team does fall apart and it's a game of two halves, and they're not executing the game plan that they were clearly executing in the first, what's the message for the next game to get them back to a position where they look in the mirror and they recognize, hold on, we can play defense well. We can contain amazing scorers like Kawhi and Benedict Mathurin and Darius Garland as a distributor. What's that message to them?
Yeah, on to the next. I mean, they still came out, fighting. Like, they had good fight. It's just they didn't shoot well, in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. And that happens. If the shot doesn't fall, it's okay. But, stay focused on controlling the controllables. I thought they got great second chance points. They fought really hard. But then it's like, it's on to the next already. You still encourage them. I thought they played well. But, who's the next opponent? Let's go after them. Let's go fight as hard as we can.
But you guys made an excellent point. Who is that go-to bucket for the Warriors?
So with that in mind, I mean, Cheryl, when you're talking about looking in the mirror, this is such an opportunity for the role players right now. When the Warriors have lost their identity because it was Steph,
first of all, let's drop the role. They're no longer role players. That's dead and gone. Now they've got to fill those shoes. So who's going to step up and be that bucket? They don't have to be buckets, but they have to be a bucket player.
I got you. You're talking about 40. You're talking between Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, 47 points a night. You need to make up, right? 47 points a night. Keith Santos obviously didn't start tonight. Yeah. He came off the bench, but just putting up 5 for him. So yeah, it's finding those guys, finding that rhythm. I thought it was going to be Pajimski's night, right? You thought he was going to have a career high tonight, at least a season high. He was well on his way to it, knocking on the door, and only able to get 1 bucket in the second half.
And Pat Spencer was quiet, was he not?
Yes. Yep.
It happens. Defenses adjust, especially when you take that level of a spotlight. They adjust, and we didn't see the Warriors find another option, another vessel. But thank you guys so much for breaking down the game. It was so much fun listening to you all. Anytime I get the chance to hear Natalie Nakase get into the mind of the players, what she's, execution, what players are trying to set up out on the floor, it's really special because it's rare that a coach gives her secrets. And Natalie Nakase is someone that keeps her execution. I mean, even her coach's retreat, she kept that to the chest of what was going on
I think
there.
she was still trying to do it tonight.
I see.
Cheryl's having to press her a little bit.
Exactly.
You can't give away the secrets.
The combination of the two of them was really, really special.
This game, though, we got to talk about the importance of this game because now the Clippers have a 2-1 lead in the season series. These teams will face each other in the regular season finale. If the Clippers win, it's a 2-2 series, but they have the tiebreaker. So when we're talking about the importance of this game for the Warriors, too, the Clippers are looking at the same thing. This month, the month of March, they have 11 games against the bottom 9 teams in the league. They want to move up. They see who's ahead of them. It's the Warriors, and they made the adjustments in the second half to win.
1,000%. The Warriors had an opportunity tonight, and they just fell apart at the end.
I hope you were just going to say, agreed. Like Natalie Nicase, agreed.
Well, we're going to start with the good before we get to the ugly, because this game did start out good for the Warriors. Brandon Podziemski with 20 points in the first half, splitting those evenly between the first quarter and the second quarter. They went on that 15-2 run to end the first, which I thought shined a lot on the Warriors offense and what they're able to do when they're locked in. Without Steph Curry, without Jimmy Butler, Ty Lue, the head coach of the Clippers, making some good adjustments at the half. But a good first quarter and a good end to the first half for the Warriors.
Yeah, you saw Brandon Podziemski leading the way, really the spark of that first half. And big picture for him, this is the third game that he's started in a row. He wants this job. He wants to be a floor general. Now, it was interesting that he read the defense and he decided, well, I'm going to score. If I've got a wide open lane, I'm going to go attack the rim. But it didn't feel, I mentioned at halftime, it didn't feel like a ball hog game for him. It felt like a patient game. It felt like okay, I'm going to read what's happening here. And then as he gets himself going, you kind of look at what it means for him this summer as well, because he's still on a rookie contract right now. He's still wondering, am I going to get an extension? So there's just so many things going on for Pods, but ultimately he wants to be there for his team and see if he can figure that out while Steph is not on the floor, while Jimmy's not on the floor, because somebody has to step up.
Yeah, I would say when I look at Brandon Podziemski's game, I've never seen a ball hog out of him, but I've seen forcing things, right? I wouldn't characterize it as if he's always keeping the balls with himself, but sometimes it's in his efforts to distribute it, he does it a little too late. It's just a little step too late. And so we were seeing him in the first half make those decisions quickly, as you're mentioning, being able to get to the basket and finishing himself or passing it out. Either way, in the first half, you saw the ball hopping. You saw the distribution, not just from Pods, but from everyone on the floor. And at some point in the second half, the Warriors' offense became get the ball to Al Horford, see what he can do. The split action typically goes into the post, and then movement happens. People were on the outside watching and seeing what happens. Al Horford was, boxing off or sealing off his defender. They forced it inside multiple times. It was just the offense became stagnant, and they wanted Al Horford to be the savior, and you needed more bodies involved like they were in the first.
Split action looks so good when you have those three-point shooters who are making them, and the Warriors struggled with that tonight, just 35%.
Yeah, we talked about this game being a game of runs. The Warriors with that good run at the end of the first quarter. Well, now we got to go to the third. The good, the bad, and the ugly all came in the second half. And the ugly was at the end of the third quarter when the Clippers closed in on the Warriors with an 18-8 run. So Kawhi Leonard was held to just 8 points in all of the first half. Well, in the third quarter alone, he puts up 8. The Clippers end up outscoring the Warriors by 12 in this quarter, and it was the end that changed the momentum of this game.
Well, go ahead, Zena.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay, I was just to say, in that third quarter, you saw the ball start to stick, and some of that was the Warriors regressing back to the mean on their shooting. They were losing their touch, or just the defense ticking up for the Clippers. Just 6 of 23 for the Warriors in that third quarter. That is dumbling it. You can feel it start to flip. That third quarter, they had 4 assists, 5 turnovers. And the Clippers made them pay for those turnovers.
And then it rolled right into the fourth quarter. As you see, they started with that 11-2 run, and then in the middle of this fourth quarter, they went on a 20-5 run towards the bottom, and that's what opened things up. Clippers were up 88-86, and the Warriors were right there. They were still fighting hard, as Coach Nicase mentioned, but once they went on that run, blew it open to 108-91, and at that point, the Warriors were fighting an uphill battle. What really felt different was the energy in the second half in terms of the defense. And Kareth, you mentioned it at the top of the show, the defense flipped. You saw the swarming effect that the Warriors had on the Clippers in that first half, the way they were blitzing, the way that they were rotating, the help defense was alert. All of that went straight to the energy of the Clippers. They started swarming. They were digging in. And then you had Chris Dunn, who is one of the best on-ball defenders in the league, top 10, top 8 in terms of his deflections and his ability to get steals in the league, using his wingspan to just dig in. Every time they knew the ball was going to go into the post in an effort to try and get some sort of screen action for distribution from the post, Chris Dunn was all over that. He was digging in early to make it uncomfortable for that post player to get the ball out.
Sometimes you can chalk up energy to being not important in this game. 2 weeks ago, Steve Kerr and some of the Warriors talked about getting their swagger back. And how do you do that without Steph Curry? You can't manufacture swagger, and the Warriors lacking swagger without their leading point scorer in Stephen Curry. We're going to take a break. Speaking of Steve Kerr, coming up next, we'll get you back inside Chase Center for Steve Kerr's postgame presser. We'll hear from the head coach following the Warriors.